So for your county, this is Guilford County, and we did grab those other pieces of the other counties over in Davidson County and Randolph County, and Forsyth County. High Point's kind of spread out onto the west and south in other counties through annexation. But this is your total value, and you see around the beltway around Greensboro, you can see the large parcels, really purple along I-40. They're big parcels, so they're going to be valuable. So going from total value to value per acre, so miles per tank to miles per gallon, this is value per acre. You see little heat spots in downtown High Point and downtown Greensboro pop up. So here it is in 3D. So of course, you're not going to be as potent as Greensboro. You're not as big a city as Greensboro, but you can kind of tell where your downtowns are in both of these, and you can see the relative potency of each. So here's your model kind of zoomed in. Here's your model. And you can see on the south side, which is the study area, is a little lower. Or it's actually generally lower in the south and the east sides than in the north sides. And you all know this about your community. There's been this kind of slow spread northward of your annexation pattern, and you're sort of chasing the people toward the bigger cities. But as a shareholder of Guilford County, so anybody that lives in High Point in the Guilford side, you're a Guilford County shareholder. So you're about 7% of the county's total area. You're producing 19% of the county's taxes. So as a physical footprint in the top one of your area acres versus your financial footprint, you're actually moving in the positive direction. So that pie slice grows by a factor of 2.6. So the way that we see this as a relative potency is you're 2.6 times more potent. We actually have seen places that are sort of in the 1-to-1 range, which is not good. So this is showing you that you're doing well as a county taxpayer, as county production. When you look at just the city and say the downtown is a portfolio piece of just the city, your downtown takes up 1% of the city. It's producing 7% of the city's property taxes. That's a 1-to-7 ratio, or 7.4 times potency. That's really good. A good downtown is somewhere around 1-to-6. So you're outperforming a typical downtown, and that's due to the fact that you have a lot of private, large convention spaces. These buildings are super potent from a taxable standpoint. But let's not forget that the downtown is a shareholder of the county. So I don't know what you call that, 1/1000th or 100th of a percent in footprint. It's about a 1% value potency. Those numbers and slivers in those pie charts might look small, but when you do the math on this, it's a 1-to-19 ratio of productivity. So let that wash over you for a second. What you can see here is what's good for downtown is going to be paying a lot of potent taxes to the city, but it's going to be incredible for the county. The county is going to get a tremendous amount of potency in that density anywhere in the county, basically. If you look at it by comparison to your bigger cousin up the road there in Greensboro, they're a 1-to-30, which is kind of insane. But again, you go to downtown Greensboro, it's bigger, there's bigger buildings, there's more density to it. It's going to have that potency. However, when you drill down a little bit to say, okay, let's kind of compare them like a mirror. Well, compare you to Greensboro and see who's more fiscally productive. You can look at the model and say, okay, well, Joe, their spikes are taller. They're at $70 million of peak value, which is, more than double your top of your model. But again, doing a little bit of math on this, Greensboro's on the right, High Point's on the left. You're a bigger downtown in acreage. Your value isn't as much, but it's close. So your productivity is actually, kind of keeping up with Greensboro. But note, you're larger in area. You also can see all the non-taxable stuff, but also how you kind of fade to green real quick in your downtown. Now I wouldn't see that as a bad thing. I see that as opportunity. You have demonstrated the potency in your downtown, and just keep at it. Or look at those areas that are of low potency and try to way to turn that around. So speaking of non-taxable, your county is about 10% non-taxable. Again, no magic number here, but we had the ability to kind of pull the data and show you. Obviously, if you have a park system, you want to start stringing that together, but also look at some of this non-taxable stuff, more so when you drill into your city. Is there an opportunity? Is it necessary to our community for the open space. So, or for the non-taxable. For open space, yes, schools, churches, city buildings. But do you have parking lots or anything like that? In the downtown, you see it show up more. So you're about 23% non-taxable in your downtown. So this is your most fertile soil. You're getting the most potency out of it. So be careful when you take that land off the tax base and make sure that it's got a good return for you. So obviously City Hall, you need to have that. But just interrogate that a little bit. This isn't high nor low in Asheville. Our downtown is 45% non-taxable, which I would say is high. But we are the county seat. We do have federal buildings, like NOAA is headquartered. The National Oceanic and Atmosphere Administration is headquartered here in Asheville. But just something to be aware of. Now, inside the Southwest District, you're looking at about 15% of non-taxable. So just to put them all side by side, here's where you're at. Your Southwest region is 15%, your downtown is 23%, your city is 20%. Again, nothing magic here. It's just giving you a data point. And one of my favorite quotes is, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So make sure you're managing the stuff that you can and keeping track of it.